Hey guys, welcome to this new video. This is the episode 1 of the podcast recommendation show. And what podcast recommendation show is basically I come here and recommend a few podcast episodes every week to you guys. So the first one is the podcast between Raj Shamani and Prakhar Gupta. So this podcast came out very recently and you probably already know both of these guys if you're active on YouTube. So Prakhar also has a YouTube channel where he talks about psychology and he has also studied psychology from US. And Raj Shamani also has his own channel which has more than a million subscribers, and he was also featured in Forbes 30 under 30. So if you're under the age of 35, which most of the Indian population is, then you definitely need to listen to this podcast because these guys talk everything about career, relationship, emotions, and what have their motivations been in working towards the goals that they have. So this is a great podcast to have a listen, and if you already don't follow these guys, you should definitely go and follow both of them. They have great videos coming out. So the second one I have for you is the podcast between Jay Shetty and Ryan Holiday. So Ryan Holiday is a Stoic philosopher and he researches a lot around the area of Stoicism. So Ryan Holiday also has a couple of books around Stoicism and they are really good books, and I've read like 2 of them. Jay Shetty is a life coach as well as a podcaster, and he also has some great books. Since this is Jay Shetty's podcast and Ryan Holiday is a guest, so it makes sense that they will be talking about Stoicism. And in this, and Ryan Holiday also talks about his overall day and how does his day looks like and what are his different habits. One of the habits he mentions in the podcast is about the habit of doing something really hard every day. So that kind of pushes him out of his comfort zone, and he talks about the reasons why he does that and why is that really important for him. I really like the part where they both talk about changing yourself and how change should be implemented, how you should not like just change in one day. Instead of that, Jay Shetty mentions a very nice concept about snakes and how a snake slithers out and changes his new skin. So since Ryan Holiday is a Stoic philosopher, and definitely there should be a talk about discipline because Stoicism is all about having a discipline. So Ryan Holiday kind of makes it a little comforting about the talk about discipline, because as soon as I myself listen to discipline, I just get a lot of like pressure on my head that you have to do like you have to just follow a strict schedule, you have to do this, you have to do that. But Ryan Holiday explains it in a very nice way that how you should consider discipline, how should be your philosophy towards discipline, and how discipline should not be something that should squeeze the joy out of your life. Instead of that, it should be something that helps you be a better friend to yourself. So they talk about a lot of topics and you should definitely watch the full episode. They talk about general things in life, but just those things with a different perspective. The last one that I have is the podcast between Varun Maya and Tanmay Bhatt, and they both are talking about Chat GPT, about AI, and there's some really mind-blowing stuff in this podcast. I think you already know Tanmay Bhatt. He's a comedian. He has a great YouTube channel. And Varun Maya also has a YouTube channel, and he talks about AI, talks about technology, talks about personal growth. So in this podcast, Varun is just going through a few slides and showing those slides to Tanmay. The slides, each of these slides contain something different that has been an application of the generative AI Chat GPT models, and you will definitely get to see a lot of mind-blowing stuff in this podcast and how AI is being used. So in one of the part, they also talk about UBI, which is basically universal basic income, which Sam Altman has also mentioned at one point of his time, and it is something very controversial. They also talk about bots and how it is getting harder and harder to detect that if it's a person or a bot, because AI is getting too good in impersonating as a human. So this is something really interesting that these guys talk about. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and if you have any podcast recommendations, then do post them in the comments of this video, and see you again.